Hey everybody, this is Kevin again. Just wanted to talk about today something that is, well, it kind of hit me. Um, it's about how we treat other people. You know, it is really easy to treat people nice if you don't know them, if you're not around them long enough to, well, it's easier anyway. If you're not around them long enough to for them to irritate you, because I'm going to guarantee you that happens. Um, so now, Jesus wants us, of course, to be nice to everybody. Everybody's his child. He said, treat your fellow man great, be kind and loving and all that. And I totally agree with that. That's you should. Um, but to me, and maybe maybe you guys don't have the same problem, but to me, and I noticed something about myself, it's a whole lot easier to treat people nice, like I said, when you're not around them all the time and they get to irritate you. Like, say, your wife, your son, your child, whatever, um, mother, brother, father, sister. Honestly, I think that we're supposed to be kind and considerate to everyone. Now, I'm like this. This is mainly for me because for some reason it seems to be harder for me to be as kind and forgiving to someone that I care deeply about. I am not quite sure why that is. I have a couple of ideas as to why. Maybe I expect more from them, but you know what? Honestly, that's really not fair for me to expect more from them than I would from anyone else. That's, yes, more. You can expect more from them. You can expect, for them to love you and all that stuff. But as far as like behavioral patterns or whatever, you can't. Uh, what you can't expect them to always not irritate you because it's gonna happen. People, it's gonna happen. The thing is, what we need to do, what I need to do anyway, is take a deep look at myself, and before you get angry and because I said so type of attitude, maybe it's time to look and see, okay, what am I contributing to this? What is my part in this escalation of anger or feelings or whatever? And I'm not saying that that April and I have fights or that escalate to any sort of physical level, because that does not happen. Um, but we have our arguments, and what I realized is that when when an argument starts, no matter who it's with, whether it's with your wife, your brother, your girlfriend, your best friend, your children, whatever, before you get too far involved, and while you still have your full thinking capacities, try to take a look at the situation and see if maybe there's something that you did wrong. Like I said, I'm talking to myself, and this is what I'm trying, and I think it's really helped a whole lot. Not like we fought a lot, just occasionally, but still, the thing is, it always helps to take a look at yourself and see what it is that it. Yes, the other person may be in the wrong. That's fine, but how did you go about letting them know that they're in the wrong? What words, what attitude did you have when you let them know? Was it, and I, why did you do this or whatever? Um, that actually puts people on the defense right away. So that it is no wonder at all why people argue, and why sometimes it escalates. And like I said, not to any sort of. I'm not saying escalates like somebody gonna punch somebody, but maybe it escalates like you're yelling, or maybe you say something that you don't really mean, just to like get a reaction out of them. That's not what. It's not what we're supposed to do. That's I mean, Jesus didn't do it. He did it. The only time he got angry that I know of was with the money changers in the temple because they were mistreating his father's house. Well, when something like that happens, obviously you're not going to talk the people out of it. But whenever he was dealing with people, I mean, look at Judas. He didn't like come out and start yelling at Judas, "Oh, you're going to betray me." He actually talked to him with love and kindness, and that's all that he ever did, is he talked to people with love and kindness. And that's Jesus. Now, we're talking about somebody who didn't have any faults. You and I, we have faults. I especially. And it's tough to overcome those things that you've done for so many years. Um, whatever the case, there's really never any reason to try to, hurt someone's feelings just to get a reaction out of them. Um, it's in an argument. Okay, you like I said, a lot of us, myself included, when we're out there in the world, we do have that thought of, oh well, this person is not a Christian, or this person is not whatever, and we try our best to be nice. At least that's what we're supposed to do. I try to, uh, but sometimes it's like I just get sucked into that. Not, like I said, not often pleases everybody. Don't think that I'm like being mean to anybody, because that's not the case. But like I said, everyone argues occasionally, and everyone disagrees occasionally. But it, a lot of, well, you get out what you put into it is an old saying, and that's pretty much the truth. If you're going to put in anger, then 9 times out of 10 you're going to get anger back. So, you know, as what I'm trying to do now is watch myself and ask myself, okay, how did I not help the situation? How did I help escalate the situation? Um, was there something that I said? And of course, the enemy is going to be right there pounding away, like, yeah, you tell them, you get them. They're not listening to you, or whatever it is that he's going to say. He's going to say it because he loves that. He loves for us to fight. He loves for us to not get along. Because when we're not getting along, we're not communicating. We're not communicating. We're not of one mind and one body. That is what the devil hates. The enemy hates, is for all of us to be in communication and in love and one mind and one body, and to agree on things. Whenever we agree on something, he gets scared, and he don't want that to happen. So therefore, he's going to try to put whatever he can in the way of of 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, a congregation, whatever, getting wrong. He's going to try to stir discord in that. It's our job to try to recognize when he does this, and to try to ask ourselves, as I've started to say a few times now, ask ourselves, okay, what am I doing? Am I doing something to escalate the situation, or am I doing something to calm the situation down? And what I've found usually calms down the situations if you go about and you ask, you make your point known in a way that does not automatically put somebody on the defense and get their freaking ruffles up and stuff like that. If you approach someone calmly about something, then 9 times out of 10 you're going to have a calm reaction from whoever it is. Sometimes they're going to jump back at you, but if you keep your calm demeanor, I've found, then usually their anger just burns itself out, because you're not piling on, you're not adding fuel to the fire. You're like literally taking fuel away from the fire. So this is something I feel very strongly about, and something I'm really working on my own self. So please don't think that I'm like preaching at anybody, because that's not what these things are. It's not about me preaching. It's about trying to explain to you what God has taught me, and usually He has to beat me over the head with it for finally get through. Um, but he's great, and He does that, and I'm very thankful for it. And those of us who do hear from God, or which everybody can. I was just watching a TV show or a preview for a TV show, and it was apparently, and I need to watch this show because I don't want to endorse anything that is not great. But I do like one thing that this little girl said, and it was supposed to be about a girl who talked to God, or who God talked to, and what she said was, God talks to us all. We just need to listen. And there has never been truer words spoken in the world. God talks to us all. We just need to listen. And just like other people, not get our dander up, not be like, and get all defensive and everything. Listen to what God says. Don't get angry about it, because usually, a lot of times, that's what causes fights or disagreements. And I'm going to probably irritate some people when I say this, but a lot of times that's what causes some disagreements, is not the fact that we're angry at the person, but we're angry at the person. This is held true for me. When we see something that we have done that this other person does, whoever it may be, child, wife, husband, mother, father, friend, whatever, the things that generally tend to make us the maddest are things that we see them do that we ourselves have done. Maybe we're not. Maybe we're being. Maybe God's trying to fix that in us. Maybe we're being. There is therefore no condemnation. But boy, He will definitely. He will let you know. There's no condemnation, but He will try to help you work on things. And if we get defensive, then we're not going to learn there as much, nor are we going to act like we're supposed to. I've found that most of the times when I get angry, it's me. It's something that I am trying to resist God on, and I really don't want to do that. But I'm just kind of giving everybody a heads up. That's what this is. It's not me preaching. It's me trying to explain to you the things that God has told me to make it easier, make me a better person. I hope. I try honestly to be a better person every day. Sometimes I slip, quite often actually I slip in that, but you know what, it's a journey, and God is gracious enough and patient enough to work with me to try this. But the thing is, and this is what I originally started out to say, a great measure of our travels, or our progression, I should say, with God, is how we treat other people. So try not to be argumentative, and try to understand where the other person is coming from. Maybe they don't know what you know. Maybe they haven't got 57 years of experience to help them out, or maybe they just haven't gone through. My mom told me, we mentioned about wisdom. I said, yeah, my children, they're all smart. They're smarter than I am, and there's no doubt about that. But I have wisdom about a lot of things. And she goes, well, that's because they hadn't been through everything like you have. And that there's a whole bunch of truth in that, a whole bunch of truth. The things that we go through are meant to make us better people and teach us how to be better people to other people. Not only to God, and to God, of course, but it's a journey. And honestly, I wouldn't listen to anybody whenever I was younger. I was, ooh boy, was I rebellious. Especially anybody that I saw preaching about something and how bad a sin it was, and then I turn around and look, and here they are doing it too. The thing is, every preacher, every teacher is still a human being. Do I think that they should preach fire and brimstone about the things that they do themselves? Absolutely not. I think that they should be trying to help people to get a grip on it, to understand it, and to to do better, to be better. And that's what I'm trying to do. So I hope that anybody don't think that I'm full of myself, because it's quite the opposite of that. But I like to think I'm full of God, and that's why I, know certain things that other people don't. And like I said, because of the journey that I've been on, which most of was my doing. Most of the hard times was led directly back to me, because that was how hard headed I was. But hopefully this helps somebody. Um, anyway, most of you, probably all of you, know me personally, and know that I'm not just blowing smoke. I'm really honestly trying to get closer to God and to do the things that make him proud. Basically, I'm trying to make God proud. So that I think that once you get that mindset, God loves it. I mean, who am I to speak for God? But I mean, the evidence is there. He talks to me. He tells me things. He blesses me. So just hoping that this helped out a little bit. I got a little teary eyed thinking about that. Um, and also crying. I bawl all the time. It's no big deal every time. That's why I can't say this when God's talking to me very well, because then I realize something. It's like I'll say something and I'll be like, wait a minute, where'd that come from? I did not know that. And just all of a sudden he hits me with this realization. So basically, I'm learning as much, if not more, than anybody who would take the time to watch these. This is, I've been kind of all over the map, but basically it's treat people good and look at yourself for the answer, because you're not going to change anybody else's mind. You're not. Um, no matter how hard you try, no matter how loud you yell, that does not change anyone's mind. Only thing that can change people's mind is to when they see something in you. That's why we are supposed to try to be like Jesus, because when they see something in you, and they knew you before, and they knew how bad you were about certain things in the past, and then they see that God has changed you, that's what changes people's minds. So, in conclusion, everybody, I love you all, and I just hope that you have a blessed day, and I appreciate you listening.